Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let me ask you this question. Would you like to be able to gain more commitment from your customers and also cooperation from your team? Would you like to build effective teams? Would you like to be able to resolve conflicts faster? Would you like to be able to win more sales and get the approval of those people you respect? Well, if you said yes to any of those, this video is for you, because in this training, you will learn the benefits of the DISC language. You'll learn how to apply it in business, and you'll also learn very simple steps that you can apply immediately. So let's take a deep dive. 75% of your day is spent communicating with others. Now, this is an interesting fact discovered by Brian Tracy. And from the moment that you wake up in the morning to the moment that you go to sleep, and everything in between involves communication. You've got to communicate to your family. You've got to communicate with your friends. You've got to communicate with your colleagues. You've got to communicate with your customers. You'll also communicate with people in your community. So 3/4 of your day, fully 75%, is going to be spent communicating with others. And what this means is having a critical understanding of yourself and others is vital for success. And we know in business that fully 95% of mistakes are related to communication. So there's 5 major benefits to learning DISC. And I want to be able to share these with you today so you understand the importance of DISC inside your organization. The first thing is DISC helps you gain commitment and cooperation. And what we say is it takes teamwork to make the dream work. Remember that one. It takes teamwork to make the dream work. And inside a team, people have to know what each other is capable of. The right hand must know what the left hand is doing. And people trust and work well with others who are like themselves. So people who are like each other tend to like each other. You've heard that before. You've also heard the quote, "Birds of a feather flock together." And the concept of an organization is everybody moving organized. They're organized and moving in the same direction. And DISC helps you gain commitment and cooperation quickly with team members. DISC also gives you tools to understand others' behaviors and become like them to gain commitment. So it's a truth that everybody behaves differently. The way that we approach results is going to be different. The way we go about getting recognition is going to be different. The way we get into relationships is going to be different. And how we approach getting things right is also going to be different. Now, one way to approach results is not better than another. There's only differences. And if we can understand those differences, then we can understand our team members. If we understand our team members, we can offer them our support and we can collaborate with them and we can get the result faster. So the first benefit of DISC is in gaining commitment and cooperation. Now, if you're a leader, if you're a manager, you have to gain the commitment and cooperation of teams. And what we know is this, is that leaders, a good leader, has the ability to delegate workflow to over 300 different people. So imagine if you could be that leader who could delegate work and keep it flowing through 300 different people. What would that do for you? What would that do for your organization? Without DISC, it's hard to achieve that. With DISC, it's very simple. Now, the second benefit of DISC is building effective teams. Now, there's 4 stages of team dynamics, and each team in every business, in every community, goes through these 4 stages of team dynamics. So the first one is forming. That's when the group come together for the very first time. The second phase is storming. Once the group's together, they start to fight. They start to push. They start to shove. They start to test one another. They step over each other's boundaries. They start to test the leader. Has the leader got strength? Do they have tenacity? Do they have courage? What can I get away with? What can't I get away with? That's the storming stage. Once teams get through the forming, the storming, and through the storming phase, they get to the norming stage. Now, that's the third stage of group dynamics. Now, you can see by the name norming, it's just normal. Normal is average. Average is nothing special. And most teams get stuck at norming. They produce normal results. They get normal return on investments. They make the average amount of sales. But if you're watching this video, normal is not in your vocabulary. The fourth stage of group dynamics is performing. Now, the truth is, most teams never get here without training. Most teams never become a high-performing team. And there's a number of reasons which we're going to explore right now. So let's go back to the start. A group comes together and they form. It's a group of people coming together in the workplace. They don't know their strengths. They don't know their weaknesses. They don't know their past. They don't really know where they're going. But the group comes together. And when the group comes together for the very first time, they go into what's called the honeymoon period. Now, if you've been in a relationship in the past, you'll remember the honeymoon period. Everybody's happy. Everybody's smiling. You're not pushing each other's boundaries. You're on your best behavior. You're wearing the mask. You want the world to see the best of you. But behind that mask, you're hiding the worst of you. And you know it's only a matter of time before your mask comes off or somebody else's mask comes off because of stress. When that mask comes off, they reveal their true personality. So at the start of group dynamics, everybody comes together. And then they move into the storming stage. Now, in the storming stage, what you're going to find here is that people tend to be very hard on one another. They judge each other's behavior. They're highly critical. And there's a lot of people problems. So from the forming, storming, and norming stage, there's a lot of conflict here. People aren't really working together. Yes, they're a team, but they're still individuals. They haven't come together for a common cause. So in the forming, storming, and norming phase, there's oftentimes low productivity, low performance. So all businesses know to lead the field, they've got to have a high-performing team. Remember, all work is done in teams, and the companies with the best teams get the best results. The companies with the second best team get the second best results, and the companies with the third best teams, well, they normally go bankrupt within the first 18 months. So your job as the coach, your job as the leader, is to take your teams from good to great. And that's the difference between norming and performing. Now, there's 4 things to get them out of the forming, storming, and norming phase into the performing phase. And it starts with awareness. They have to have awareness of their own communication styles. They need to be able to have awareness of other people's communication styles. Others include their family members and friends. They're going to have great relationships. It also includes their colleagues who they're going to spend a lot of time with. And fourthly, it's also about the customer who's got the money, and they've got to spend a lot of time communicating with the customer, showing them the benefits, the improvements, the transformations that the customer can have using your product and service. But in order to have great communication, first of all, we have to understand our style. And then secondly, we've got to understand the customers. It's through awareness that then conflicts are resolved. So all the conflicts in the forming, the storming, and the norming phase have to first be resolved before the group can start to perform. It's through awareness, through communication, through the conflict resolution that the motivation comes. And what we've learned from PricewaterhouseCoopers is that when you coach, when you train your team in a behavioral model like DISC, the return on investment is huge. They say that executive coaching, which includes DISC, can get a 7 to 49 times return on its investment. And this is how you take your teams from good to great. But as I mentioned before, most teams never get there without training in a behavioral model. DISC is a behavioral model, and it must be used from the top down. A lot of organizations don't use it from the top down. They try to use it from the bottom up. So top down means the CEO, the general manager, the managing directors, the leadership teams all have to use DISC, including all the teams. They've got to know your style. You have to know their style. And when you do that, you'll have a highly performing team. So the second benefit of DISC is building effective teams. Third benefit of DISC is resolving and preventing conflicts. And I've been in conflict situations before. You've been in conflict situations before, and they are not pleasant. Now, there's 7 major costs of conflict in the workplace, including wasted time, high employee turnover. They have grievances, complaints, and lawsuits. Sick days and health costs go up. It can lead to workplace violence, poor decision-making, and a poisoned workplace culture. So using a model like DISC can resolve and prevent these conflicts. And remember, there's 7 costs of conflicts, and probably the biggest cost is to your workplace culture. Once the workplace culture is poisoned, turnover increases, job applications decrease because people don't see your organization as a great place to work. So when people see your organization as a great place to work, then those applications go up and you start to attract the top talent. So DISC reports will teach you more about a person in 10 minutes than you can in a year without DISC. So what that means is we can get more insights into a person's behavior in 10 minutes using DISC than you could possibly do through coaching without DISC in your organization. The beautiful part about DISC is the results are immediate. They're universal and you can apply them immediately. And these are the benefits of resolving and preventing conflicts with DISC. The fourth benefit is gaining endorsement. Endorsement is credibility. Credibility leads to influence. Influence leads to sales. And by knowing someone's behavioral style, you can immediately gain endorsement. You don't have to wait. The moment that person walks through the door, the moment that they sit down, the moment that they pick up the telephone, the moment that you turn on Zoom, you can understand somebody's behavioral style and you can gain endorsement immediately. Remember, no endorsement, no sale. If you get the endorsement, then you get the sale. So DISC helps you get endorsement, which means you're going to get more sales. The fifth benefit of DISC is understanding the importance of endorsements. Now, in today's business world, more personal decisions are being made on the perception and credibility of individuals, organizations, and countries. It means that people rely on words and actions of others in making decisions. And once you understand your DISC style, once you understand other people's DISC styles, you start to stand out. Because through DISC, you can get endorsement. You can get credibility. You can get influence. And then once you've got that influence, you can influence how people make decisions. Do they decide to buy from your competitor? We don't want that. Or do they decide to go with you? That's what we want. And with DISC, DISC helps you stand out in a busy marketplace and you start to get endorsement immediately. So in summary, without DISC, there's no commitment, there's no influence, and there's no sale. However, When you use and apply DISC, you start to build effective teams. You start to eliminate those conflicts. Your sales start to go up. You make better decisions for yourself, for your team, and for your company, and then you make less mistakes. So you can see that DISC is important, and I encourage you to start using DISC immediately, because as soon as you do, you'll start to see results. Not next week, not next month, not next year, not tomorrow. You'll get results immediately. You'll learn more about a person in 10 minutes than you could possibly in a year of coaching or assessment. So go ahead, use DISC now, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a wonderful day.